Hey everybody. Um, Not really a surprise stream, but kind of. I said I'd be back on Thursday. Hey, camera's over here. I said I'd be back on Thursday, and here I am on Thursday. I just didn't say what time it was going to be because I didn't know how long it was going to take me to do my work this morning. But hey, I finished the pages that I'm going to do for Marakura this month, and those will be going up on the 31st on Global Comics et al. And today I'm working on the DanDaDan poster, and with any luck, I will finish the DanDaDan poster. So we will see. All right. I do. Hey, look, it's my own website. I do want to check on my YouTube channel just to make sure everything's working. It says I'm live. And cool. All right. It's kind of interesting. This is one of those days where we call it a Jeff Goldblum day, right? And here I am by myself, talking to myself. But for the benefit of the people of the future. I was actually kind of impressed. The stream I did on Tuesday, people are always kind of amused by how fascinated I am by my very low viewer numbers. But I did a stream on Tuesday where I think we had 3 people who were here for the majority of the time, hanging out, and we appreciate that. But you get like 25 views over the next couple of days, and it's like, okay. Some people, they're coming back to watch the replays. That's interesting to me. Never going to be shy about saying that I don't really know what I'm doing on YouTube, for the most part. I know how to draw pictures. That's what I know how to do. And I can talk for a long time when the need arises. Maybe that is the skill set. I don't know. If you were on the last DanDaDan stream, I did all the ink on that, and I started working on the toning. We were talking a little bit about the toning of this and how it works, and how I can lay down, a solid layer of gray and then kind of carve out my highlights from that, which is what I'm doing with this one. Or I can selectively put down gray, which is what I'll do on the 40% opacity layer. I do intend to print this. I will get it up on the imprint store for anybody who wants to buy a copy. That's how I manage to do my prints for worldwide shipping, etc. And I know it works because I have a wonderful friend who lives in the Netherlands, who bought some prints from me. So, and I know they made it because I seen the picture of them up on the wall. So, that's how I handle the worldwide shipping. And domestic stuff, I do the fulfillment of all the Murakiru books and merch on my own through my coffee store. But as far as the posters go, really the only way to get them from me right now is to actually come and visit me at a convention. And camera's over there. And to get them that way. I sell 11 by 17s at the live shows. I did a couple of those coming up. I got IC3 coming up in March at Southern Connecticut State University in New Haven, Connecticut. I got CliffCon again coming in April 18th, which is a Friday night show, so that's kind of interesting. Not sure where that is yet. I think it might be at the same hotel in Bristol that it was in last time. But I'll be doing that. Free Comic Book Day is coming up again. I haven't talked to anybody about it, but I will probably be at Most Excellent Comics in Enfield, Connecticut again. Unless something changes. I'm trying to remember what other things I put in my newsletter. If you are interested in figuring out where I'm going to be for live shows, I put my schedule in my newsletter that goes out every month. And I only send one newsletter a month. Sometimes you'll get a mid-month update of like behind-the-scenes stuff, but for the most part, the primary newsletter only goes out once a month. So please sign up for that. There's a link in the description. But yeah, I'll have this poster for the March show, definitely. I want to say there was a possibility of me doing something sooner than that, but I might have made that up. I did that this year with my in-laws. It's really funny because I ended up being correct, but I built this whole story in my head about how what our plans for the holidays were going to be, and I am. I was telling my partner about it, and I'm just like, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, we're going to visit your grandma with your mom on Christmas Day, and this is the reason we're doing it, and this is who's going to be there and why, and she was just like, we never talked about this. You made this up. I was like, really? I could have sworn we all sat down and planned this together. Maybe I should be concerned about that kind of thing. I don't know. Like I said, the weirdest thing was that I ended up being right, so maybe it was a premonition. But we are rocking the DanDaDan today, and maybe I will make some predictions about how many copies of this poster folks around the world are going to buy. I think it's going to do gangbusters. I had a discussion about it, so I know it's true. Sorry about that clicking. Got all kinds of straps and accoutrements on my desk to support my various devices, cameras, and lights. I would love to get like a proper backdrop or something one of these days. I just use my my show banner. I heard today that DanDaDan is going on hiatus, which that's fine. I'm I'm current, so it's like... I was waiting for new chapters anyways. And when I'm reading them one at a time, it's like I don't really mind waiting. You know, the reason it's so important to do the tone, I feel. So talk about this a lot, is that it's very important that your drawings look good in black and white, even if they're color. Even if they're meant to be colored, even if color is something that you are going to do on every drawing, which majority of my work is in color, it's still very important that your work looks good in black and white. And there's a couple of reasons for that. But just making sure that something is readable by the values of the color as opposed to its hue. Is very important for just general readability of your illustration. And the easiest way to check for this is when you finish something to throw a black layer or a white layer over the top of everything, and then select saturation filter, and that'll show you what it looks like in black and white or grayscale. And if you can still tell what everything is and what's going on, then you're probably in good shape. Boy, there's a lot of these guys. You know, I'll say clone stamp because it's just a easily accessible vocab word. I clone stamped the pencils and the inks for my Serpos. So you might be wondering, how come we didn't clone stamp the tone? And the answer to that is simple. I don't know. But there is something to be said for, you know, the human touch. Small imperfections that come out in doing handwork that lend life and authenticity to the piece. Which is something that can be kind of hard to maintain when you're doing digital art. Because the temptation to make everything pixel perfect is within your grasp. I don't know if you've ever heard the story of the late, great Kentaro Miura, who drew, Berserk, famous manga Berserk. But Kentaro Miura was renowned for being an annoying perfectionist about his drawings. And the urban legend is that when he switched from traditional methods to digital methods, the team behind Berserk were very happy at first because they think, well, this is finally gonna speed him up. But then I guess he learned that he could zoom all the way in and draw pixel by pixel and get things pixel perfect, and then he actually started drawing even slower. Miura, one of the great artists of our time, and it's really tragic how he died. I was actually in the middle of reading through Berserk for the first time when he passed away. And I haven't read any of the posthumous material from Berserk, but the final chapter that he actually created and had published, it feels prescient. It felt like a goodbye to me in a lot of ways. And, with hindsight, we can say all kinds of things about that, but reading that with, I'm not going to do any Berserk spoilers. Berserk is, if you have read Berserk, but you haven't finished it, then I would recommend reading the rest of Berserk. If you haven't read Berserk, Berserk comes with a lot of strong content warnings. Kind of famously one of the most brutal and visceral and upsetting manga works ever put to paper. I've got it in my head that the rest of this is gonna fly when I finish doing these the Serpo shadows, but who's to say? I would really love to actually finish this today. I say that every time. I say it every time. Something that I'm feeling kind of freed about in streaming, that I was definitely starting to feel hobbled in making videos like this, is that I just felt like I was moving so slowly through some of these things. And with the posters, the things that are like, I actually want to get them through production because I want to get them printed. I want to be able to make them available so people can buy them. And it's like, here's something like this, like this DanDaDan poster that I've been working on for what feels like months, and that's so slow for me. I did. If you've seen, I'm gonna put up the time lapse again for it for the Marukiru poster that I did for January, because it got copyright struck because I used headlocked in it, which I don't know how everybody else on YouTube Shorts is getting away with using headlocked, but here I am. Anyways, like 4 people saw that, so I'm gonna re-release it with different music. But anyways, I did that in a day. Generally speaking, it takes me between like 8 and 12 hours to do one of these posters, and you can like check the tape for the DanDaDan one. It's like it's been longer than that, I think. Anyways, I really like doing video stuff. I do. It's fun. It's fun, and if it can connect me with people, then even better. I think I'm gonna need to find a time to stream that's not 2 p.m. though. I feel like people are usually busy at that time. But today is like I finished up my work on Marukiru this morning, and I guess I could have streamed that theoretically, but I looked at like what I had on my plate that I need to get finished up, and there's a couple more posters that I need to do. I need to do a My Shiranui poster, which I don't think I've ever actually publicly talked about who won that poll yet, but yeah, my one. And it's because I ran the poll on Coffee and in my newsletter. Krull came real close this time. Closest Krull has ever come. But anyways, I need to do a My poster, and I need to do another Marukiru pinup. And I'm like, I've got this DanDaDan poster that I have been working on forever. I need to finish it. And so here we are. All right. I think we're all set with those dudes. Flip it. Turbo granny time. There's your foot, son. Oops. Not the first time I've done that. I've already figured out after I do my poster, my next Marukiru, what my next poster is going to be, and I'm not gonna do a vote this time. If people get really upset about that, and I'm mobilized to vote the time after that. That's fine. But sometimes I just know what I want to do, and I don't really want to leave it up to chance. This is one of those times. Foot. This side's a lot easier because there's only one turbo granny. A lot of this is me kind of experimenting with streams in general. Basically, I want to see if I just did any kind of promotion for it at all and just started the stream and see if anybody showed up. And the answer looks like not really. Now I know. That could also have something to do with time of day, though. I'm gonna run another test tonight. I have an extra little Marakira thing that I want to do on Mars, like an extra piece of bonus material for the comic release about Mario Kira's sword. And that should be a quick draw. And I'm going to see about doing that tonight. At like, I don't know, 6:30 in the PM. And I'm going to do it the same way. I don't know why I'm bothering to tell you about it, because you're watching a replay right now. And stream's already over in your world, probably. But I want to see if time of day has anything to do with it. It might. Who knows? Sorry about that. Had to briefly stop the stream for like 30 seconds, I think. Interested to see how that will affect the replay. Just realized this is going to be another opportunity for me to letter in Japanese. That's cool. Last time I did that was on the Akira poster, which was fun. I don't think I ever uploaded the making of that. I have been so swamped with work lately. I really got to get back on top of my other stuff backlog. Oh, but there was something I found out about DanDaDan, and I meant to bring up when I was working on this, and I kept forgetting about it, but the Japanese name for Turbo Granny is Tabo Baba, which is way cooler. And way more, alliterative. Yeah, that wasn't so hard. I'm just gonna start coloring now because tone's pretty much done. Any other tone that I want to do on this is gonna come out in the coloring. Not exactly what I'm looking for. Close. if I could do a green, or if that would look too Christmas. I like the blue better. I don't know. So yeah, we're gonna do like a red and blue aliens versus yokai thing, and then Momo and Okurin are gonna do like a purple green. We'll get all the warriors in there. That's my plan, at least. We'll see if it holds up in court. And then I want to paint on Momo's hair and Turbo Granny eyes. And I feel like I might have said something else I wanted to paint on as well earlier, but I for the life of me can't remember what it was, so couldn't have been that important to me. My hope today is to just stream this till I'm done. And my hope is to be done, well, I wanted to be done at like 4:30, but it's already 3:30. I don't think that's going to happen. But we'll see. Every time this track comes on, it scares the crap out of me. Gotta do something about leveling the volume of this playlist. This is a pretty cool album. This is a Dungeon Synth album called Slumbering Beneath a Blanket of White, I think, by the artist Wooden Vessels. All that info's in the video description. It's a great album. I just this one track in particular is like, boom, wake. There's at least a little bit of Metroid Prime sound font in here, I think. Which, no complaints from me on that one. You know, primarily, most of what I draw is fantasy stuff, and I'm doing more of that this year, I hope. I would really love to do some TTRPG stuff, and I would really love to like get hired to work either as like primary designer or primary artist on some kind of indie RPG game. I feel like that'd be something I'd be really awesome at, and would also be an awesome time. There was a brief period of time where I was in touch with the folks at Mork Borg. Because my friend and colleague Lukasz Kowalczyk, who I've spoken about many times on my channel, draws the official Mork Borg webcomic called To Hell in Galgenbeck, which is absolutely worth checking out. Even if you have no idea what Mork Borg is, this is a great way to find out about it. But I did fan art of that just because I wanted to support Lukasz, and the Mork Borg folks saw it and were like, "Hey, that's pretty cool." And I had a brief DM back and forth with them, and basically said, "Hey, I'd love to work on something for you at some point." And they said, "Yeah, we'd love that too. Let's wait until we have a good project for it." And then I deleted my Twitter and burned every connection I ever made there. So hopefully I'll reconnect with them at some point. I always wanted to work on Darkest Dungeon too, but I heard that that studio recently got sold, so probably won't be seeing any more of those anytime soon. That's a real loss. Red Hook was a hell of a studio. And I love those games. But I ramble. I always ramble. Back to what I was trying to say, which is that I'm going to see if I can crack into the old TTRPG space by doing some spot art packs. And I looked through some old art for the last 5 years or so, and I found actually quite a bit of content that I could use for, you know, some easy spot art packs. And then, of course, because me being me and never wanting to take the easy way out of anything, I'm like, well, what I should really do is new, fully original art in painstaking detail. So we'll probably stream that at some point. Silver Comet, it's all good. Thank you. Either if you're talking about the drawing, or that goal, yeah, no, that makes more sense. Thank you very much. I hope so. I do a lot of comics work, and I would love to kind of bridge that gap over into RPG stuff. Oh, I was gonna paint Okarun's hair too. Both. Thank you, Silver Comet. I appreciate it. And I appreciate you coming to hang out with me. Been a little slow today on the old middle of the day stream. So this obviously is not going to be like monochrome, because I've already got 3 different hues on the plate. But you know, from there, I think we're gonna. And none of these are final either. I don't know why I'm coloring the hair so carefully. I'm going to digitally paint over this, but I think I just want to get it separated so that I can read it, because Momo is kind of reaching into his mane of hair and grabbing the back of his neck, so gotta make sure that her arm stays separate. Same for other art channels today. Gonna to recommendations. Yeah, it's weird because it's like when I'm streaming, and I just started doing streaming. I think this is my 4th stream overall, and 3 of them have happened this week. I'm really just trying to figure out like what's a good time to do it, and for me, like, because I'm a freelance artist and this is what I'm just sitting here doing all day, I'm like, well, it would be really awesome if I could get something going when I'm actually doing work, and that's still the dream. But I'm gonna try to do a short stream this evening, centering around my some work for my comic, Mario Kira Destroy the Moon, which new page is coming out on January 31st. But I want to do some kind of backup material for that, and I wanted to do something specifically about her sword. So I'm going to be drawing the art for that tonight, and maybe give a little information about it as well as I'm doing it. And that should be a quick one. 45 minutes or an hour, something like that. Thanks, me too. This is all going to need to be more saturated in the middle. I'm not going to worry about it right now, but... I'm thinking about the anime, and I'm thinking about what the actual colors are, and he gets like a red thing going on. But this is all red over here, so we're going to need to... The reality is that this should be a little more dull. And then we should saturate up from there. And I actually want the darker... it might be a little too dark. That's okay. Pick it down a little bit, and then we pull this. Yeah, there we go. Oh, I love first episode of DanDaDan. I love the whole series. I'm a big fan of the manga, and I have seen all the anime now, all of the first season at least. And I watched about half of it in Japanese and half of it in English. I thought the dub was really good. But I really enjoyed it. I think, you know, the best episode is... The best episode of the first season is probably episode 7, which is also like the most emotional one. But looking forward to the whole anime. I don't know. I'm pretty easy to please when it comes to anime in a lot of cases. I really thought the Uzumaki anime was great until I saw the 3rd episode. But if you haven't seen it yet, I'd recommend it. It's a lot of fun. Fate. No, I'm actually not. It's a tell me more moment, because usually I have at least heard of the thing. I feel like Fate is something. I feel like Fate is something that I have heard the name of, but no, I'm not familiar with it. If it's something you'd recommend, I'll definitely check it out. I started reading Hunter x Hunter because of a viewer recommendation, so. Fate series has a lot of content and different storylines. Okay, that's probably good for me then, because I'm always I'm almost always watching something on the second screen while I'm drawing. Oh, I think that's probably what I've heard of it. I've definitely heard of it in a video game context. That's probably why I know it. Yeah, I'll give it a go. Fate Zero. Okay. I will start there. trials and tribulations I've had with this foot. Fate's Stay Night. Yeah, I've heard of that. That I've heard of. Good. I want to be kept occupied. There are so many things that I start that I'm like, I'm never going to finish this, and then I finish it. And I need something new. Heaven's Feel movies. Okay. Big anime film fan as well, so I'm into that. Taraxia. We have to go through the chat log after this with my notebook and write all these down. Which I'm not kidding, I will do that. I just love watching stuff. Alright, let's see. That doesn't look right. Yeah, it's good to have a list of the stuff that you're trying to get through, because it's easy to lose track. And I have a terrible memory too, so it's like I would love to be able to just like, oh, I'll remember that for later, but chances are that's not going to happen. But if I write it down, odds don't go to 100%, but they definitely go up. Oh, I like it when things get weird. I think I would consider that to be a positive in a lot of cases. And if it has cool fight scenes to boot, then yeah, that sounds right up my alley. Made the base layer too white. See, this is actually, I made a little oopsie. Edges are going to be a little ragged, but we will fix them. No, I do appreciate the heads up on weirdness, because it's nice to go in knowing what to expect sometimes. Yeah, Ocarina looks a little bit like Shadow the Hedgehog. Just a little bit. Well, that Fate series is large. You weren't kidding. That's something that I do think is funny when I have like a blind spot like that on something I've not really heard of, and like, oh yeah, it's been beloved by all for decades. Speaking of things coming out in the middle of the night, I feel like it would be cool to do a... like I'm the first person who ever had this idea. Do a midnight stream. Oh. Garden of Sinners. Cool. These all sound like things I would be interested in, if I'm just basing it purely on the titles. Now, see, that might look a little too Christmassy. I guess I'm not married to the green glasses. Is it like a fairly... What did I do? What have I done? Happens to me sometimes. Delve into different aspects of the anime as well, the darker aspects. Is it something would you call it generally like a dark story? Or like, what's the genre overall? I don't know if I like that, but we'll come back. Not 100% sold on the glasses. We'll see. magic, action, and interesting storytelling. Yeah, those are all things I like. You're talking my language. That'll do. That's black. Let's be white. There's more. Well, at this point, I'm not surprised. To be, what color does that need to be? I guess it's gonna be white for now. Fate Grand Order is a game, but also has movies. Be cool to have a movie. Never really had any kind of like designs on getting my own stuff adapted, but like it'd be cool. Not gonna pretend that it wouldn't. Speaking of things that look like Shadow the Hedgehog, jeez. I did her little cross bangs hair flip, which is like 90% of what I wanted out of this little digital painting thing that I'm doing here, so I am content with that, at least. I'm not sure if I'm going to finish this today. My original plan for this stream was to finish up at 4:30 Eastern. That's only 27 minutes away, so I might go a little over that. See if I can get into a flow. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to finish it today. There's just too much left to do. Oh. And I want it to be good. That's, you know. Going back down here. Fate, Grand Order, Camelot, Babylonia, and Solomon. Jeez, that's a lot of Spin-offs on spin-offs on spin-offs. Something to keep me busy for a long time. Does anybody remember off the top of their head what color Momo's eyes are? Because I really don't feel like opening up a reference. One human remaining. That's cool. I like that. I enjoy those kinds of stories. Call him Gun God because of the weapon he uses. I think you might be right. I think they might be brown. Or like, similar to the color I used for the hair, where it's kind of like a little bit maroonish. You know, if I get it wrong, I can fix it later, but... Oh, I'm gonna need to put some shading on her face. Yes, it is a similar shade. Okay, cool. We'll do a little, I don't go super nuts for eye texture like some people do. It's not exactly what my style is, but I do like to put a little beep boop. All right, that's cool. I'm gonna need to do some doing that thing where I've lost track of I've lost track of all of my layers. I'm an absolute layer anarchist. This is one of those moments where it's like, oh, where's the light source? I don't really care. It's a little abstract, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, back down. That. Oops. A certain magical index. Okay, that's another one that I actually haven't heard of. Exploring new horizons today. Three seasons in. Okay, that's a lot. But I like stories that have a little bit of meat to them. Going places here. We're almost starting to come together. Do a little bit of organization so that I don't go absolutely crazy later. I play with the saturation a bit as well. Nah, that doesn't really do much to change it. I do like keeping them kind of very purpley, though. But in that case, the background should have an element of green to it, which is not going to make any sense with this with the turbo granny. One thing at a time. Great thing about working digital is you can get all this figured out at a later time. Grimgar Fantasy Tat. Wow, jeez. It's a lot of stuff. I gotta decide if I want to paint over this or not. do a little bit of Serpo stuff to decompress. With their nice, wide open faces. You can select many at once. Actually, I think it would actually be faster to select the shirts. Select the areas to not lighten. Christmas. It's gonna be a problem for the next stream, probably. I was really hoping I would finish this today, but it's just I'd have to rush, and it's not what I do. She's gonna look like Santa Claus. I got Christmas on the brain. It's a bad move. Yeah, no, I'm gonna need to change my color scheme over here a little bit because yeah, she's got like a Santa thing going on that I'm not crazy about. I think I might need to look at my references a little bit and determine a color direction. Well, that's a thought. I'll have to play around with it a little bit more. Charlotte, Aquatope, Plastic Memories. Well, I appreciate you giving me a watch list. It's going to take me like 10 years to get through. No, I do though, because it's. Thank you for putting the thought into it, because I'm always looking for stuff to watch. So green. So I could also do this. That. Makes more sense the other way. All right, I need to think some thoughts about this before I do my next one. Make my next move here. So I'm actually going to cut it a little bit early. But hey, special thanks, Silver Comet. Thank you for coming out and hanging out. Having again, giving me a big old watch list for anime stuff. I really appreciate that, and I hope to see you again on the stream sometime. Trying to do them fairly regularly. So Drifting Dragons I've actually heard of. I'll have to check that out, because I like to read the mangas as well. Yeah, I'm going to be doing another quick one tonight about my my original stuff with the Marakura stuff. I got new pages of my comic are coming out at the end of the month, and be working on finishing up this DanDaDan poster in the next week or so I can move on to my next one, which was picked by a fan vote, and it's going to be My Shiranui. And then I have some other stuff to do for my comics. So hey, I'm going to be trying to stream as much as possible, and I'm hoping that I will see a lot of folks around in that sphere. So thanks again for coming out, and I hope to catch you on another one.